and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply, into life out here.
94.1 FM, San Antonio's Sports Center.
We have an MVP, and his name is SGA. That's right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the NBA's MVP this season. Speaking of the Thunder, they won Game 1, beating the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It starts in just a few minutes, 6:30 with the pregame right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up,
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in, listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or much like that, you can listen to us anywhere on YouTube via your YouTube app or TV, or however you ingest your YouTube at your work computer, on your cell phone. That's right. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. Ring G is actually watching today in Dallas, he says. So, see, take us anywhere. I appreciate all y'all for rolling through with me tonight. We got the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1 coming up. I will be playing hooky tomorrow. So, excuse me, but got a chance to play a golf course that you don't get to play at all. Not a member. So, I had to take and seize that opportunity. They were nice enough to let me take and seize that opportunity. So I'm going to go visit George Strait up at Cordillera Ranch. So my day is going to be fun tomorrow. Now, last night was not fun for the Minnesota Timberwolves, as Oklahoma City in the second half, I mean, they get on defense and they lock in, and it is different. It is different from almost everybody else in the NBA. I've been saying that all season. It is just when they lock in defensively, it's different. And unless you're just red hot and things are going in that shouldn't, everything's contested, everything's late in the shot clock, everything's difficult. You have to work for it. It is just so good defensively for that Oklahoma City team. And in the second half, you could tell Minnesota didn't want to mess with it. Earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, AJ Hoffman, Rob Thompson talking about last night's OKC game.
I'm going to say something today that it might sound bombastic. It might sound.
You're going to go too far, man. I'm telling you. There's a formula there, and Minnesota just lost it.
Shai, and I say this, and I know this is probably going to peeve a few people who I'm going to compare Shai to someone that people hold on a god tier.
You're silly if you do.
Shai's game is a lot like Kobe's game.
It's not. I think the game is very much like Kobe's.
It's not dissimilar.
You're right.
I know everybody holds there's people who think Kobe's the second greatest player of all time, which is absurd, mind you. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is on a Kobe trajectory in my mind.
He's a nice, but he's just not a jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's not a killer.
He doesn't hate you. He just is going to outplay you. And I think that's why he doesn't get the same kind of
known rape accusations.
Well, not so far. I mean, we hold out hope it'll remain consistent, but I've learned a long time ago I don't count those chickens. I think that's a fair. Kobe.
Listen, Kobe, a lot of skins
He's
on the
got a
wall.
long way to go to be on Kobe's level.
A lot of skins on the wall. I get it, but the game, when you watch the game,
that mid-level game and the consistency of effort, I think is the best comparison. I mean, the dude's going to go at you the same attack mode, whether it's 2 minutes in the first or 2 minutes to go in the fourth. I mean, that's just there is only one speed for him. No, that doesn't have to do with pace. That's just the way he plays. He attacks you constantly, and any weakness he exploits, and he doesn't showboat you. But he just exploits whatever you don't do well. And that was epitome of what he did last night. In the first half, they forced him to take some deeper shots, and it was some volume work that he was forced to do. In the second half,
he just couldn't hit a shot in the first half.
Well, in the second half,
free throws either.
Well, I had him for 31 and a half. Thank you, 31. And that last free throw. Anyway, in the second half, he ate up space. They gave him space, and he took the shot. In the second half, he realized, look, dude, they're giving you the mid-range. Go get it. And he went and got it. And that was the Kobe attack mode. Whatever you give me, I'll take and exploit. And I think that's a very fair comparison. But I thought you were going to go a little far with Oklahoma City, because what we saw in the first half was a team that got outplayed and couldn't shoot. And I was very afraid that was going to carry through. And what happened in the second half was a little bit more to do with OKC. I'll give them that. They're that good. But Minnesota, come on, brothers. You had the formula, and you just went away from the paint. You just forgot about your paint play.
I think when you say OKC got outplayed in the first half.
They did. They got out-hustled, beat to 50-50 balls. They got outplayed.
I have a hard time with that because I will say they couldn't
They're
make
down by 4.
They couldn't make a shot. They were down by 4.
And it should have been more than that. Keep in mind that last 2 minutes, they gave up. I think it should have been about a 10-point line by the time they got to halftime. But that last 2 or 3 minutes, Minnesota got a little loose. But first 2 quarters, they outplayed them.
They had 44 points at halftime. 18 of them were directly off turnovers. And that's the part of their game that just never goes away.
Right.
They force you to make dumb mistakes, and they take advantage of it. And because the shot wasn't falling, they didn't run away from them. But in the second half, the turnovers continued, and they started making shots. And that's when it just gets out of control.
But some of that was Minnesota stopped getting in the paint and started accepting what was being given. And Oklahoma City stopped taking the shots and started eating space up and getting the attack mode and allowing themselves to force Minnesota to make a decision on how they're going to guard you. And that was the change of the game. It was more in the first 8 minutes of the game. Did you see how Randall was playing? Randall was balling.
That's not real, though.
No, it is real if you continue it. And
he's chucking from the logo and then going.
That's what he does. Well, I mean, that's what he can do. That is real. And while some of the shots were crazy and they went in, that's what Randall has to do. He has to be a volume-producing guy to allow Edwards some space. And as long as they're living outside of the paint, Edwards doesn't have the space to be the dude they want. So it was a conscious effort by OKC. We're going to change the way we defend, but Minnesota got away from some stuff that was working. I still see 6 games. I don't see how Minnesota wins a game in Oklahoma City just because that crowd is ridiculous. But there is a formula there. You can see a path.
I'm going to go. I'm sticking with Thunder in 5. They won't win more than one game. What I saw last night is the big men for OKC. Bitches. Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, scared. Not
in the first half. They just lost it. And Chet Holmgren in the fourth quarter really played well. I'll give him Holmgren some credit there. But in the first 3 quarters, he got bitched. He did.
If you don't challenge this Oklahoma City team inside, you got no chance.
And they did. And they got away from the first half. Look at the points in the paint. They did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Outside of Randall and Edwards, nobody wanted to. None of the bigs. I don't even know if they took shots in the paint. Naz Reid was doing his thing and trying to hang out around the 3-point line. Rudy Gobert shot 3 times.
Yeah.
He was 1 of 3 from the field all day.
Yeah.
Naz Reid, 1 of 11 because
they're taking stupid threes.
They got because they are terrified to go inside against that team. The two bigs.
I disagree. They made Holmgren eat up. He became a role player in the first half. They couldn't keep him on the court.
Well, it felt like to me the difference was that Hartenstein and Holmgren played their ass off.
In the fourth quarter, they did. They figured it out. But
the bigs for Minnesota were non-existent.
Minnesota, there's a way. And at some games you get out and you get beat like that and you go, I don't know how we're going to beat them. I don't know where we're going to go find the crack in the armor to go find a way around their good stuff.
And it's going to be hard to find that good stuff and the crack in the armor because, and I get it, the two big lineup, it's the thing of the past, the way basketball is played, it's more flowing, but we're starting to see returns of the two big lineup. You've seen it in Minnesota with Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. You've seen it in Houston when they were playing and their most effective ball was with Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün on the court at the same time. We are starting to see the resurgence of a two big lineup, which is why I think the Spurs likely need to invest in at least a serviceable big man this offseason to help with Wemby just to take some things off. And look, Hartenstein was a huge signing for them this offseason, along with their trade for Alex Caruso, and is what has helped push Oklahoma City over the top. And I do believe those are some of the moves that this Spurs team does need to make as well if they want to get to that next level. They need the pieces that fit more so than the big splashy pieces. And the pieces that fit, the guys that will lock in, do their job, know their job when it comes to it offensively, defensively, where they're supposed to jump in. Those are important parts of team basketball. And I think in recent years, we've started to see a dip in team basketball over building super teams. And we're starting to see the return of the two big and the return of team basketball, whether it is what Boston has done with how they built their team, whether it's with what Milwaukee did when they built their initial championship team, what we're seeing now with Oklahoma City. These are the ways that teams are building to compete and win championships nowadays. And two bigs, we're starting to see a return of that in the NBA. The Spurs usually very ahead when it comes to trends. We'll see if they get ahead on this one. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, SASportsStar.com. We also wrapped up our first OTA sessions up there in Dallas. We heard from some of the players, and we will bring that to you as it pertains to Shotty and his new culture they were talking about on the Blitz. We'll talk about with you and how it could potentially pertain to the Houston Texans. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-282-6709. That's 800-282-6709. 800-282-6709.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com. And get ready for the workday.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Hey San Antonio, this is Kelly Finglass, Senior Director of the world-famous Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Don't miss your chance to see our all-new theater production, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders on Tour. A night of dazzling performances, electrifying dance routines, a Q&A session, and even a live audition. We're coming to you for one night only, May 25th at the Majestic Theater. Tickets are limited, so go to DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour to learn more today.
Have you been thinking about starting TRT? The time is now. You can visit any Synergenics or Low T center and get your consultation and test free. Don't let Low T slow you down this summer. Get the energy you need at Low T Center and Synergenics. Offer limited. Book now at FixMyLowT.com.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate y'all for riding along with me at night. OTAs, first round wrapping up there at the Star in Frisco, and got to hear from some of the players, and there's a lot of talk about culture in the building up there, and the Blitz was talking about it today.
Everybody always talks about culture. Every organization out there, I don't care what sport you're talking about, I don't care what level. If you're talking about a high school program, every high school coach talks about setting their culture. Everybody talks about it, but everybody does it a little bit differently. You know, Jason Garrett had his culture. Mike McCarthy talked a lot about culture. I don't know why it feels differently here with Brian Schottenheimer changing a culture in Dallas, because he was on the staff with Mike McCarthy. So what really is different? We already can tell just some of the things that Schottenheimer has told us. You know, he seems to be a little bit more open, a little bit more storytelling-like than Mike McCarthy, and certainly the very guarded Jason Garrett. So you feel like when they talk about changing a culture, there's really good examples that you might think, all right, that's kind of cool, but not. But you think about workplaces. Putting a ping pong table back in the locker room might not seem like a big deal, but it is. You know, think about all the credit like Google got for the things they did, or when Rackspace opened. Think about your office. If it's just a stale environment, or if you have fun at work, you tend to be a little bit more productive. And it just feels a little bit different. You know, Dak Prescott's been through all of it. And, you know, he talked about, you know, culture, and he talks about it a lot. And yesterday he talked about why it does seem different with Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the approach of how we're building it. I think a lot of times may in the past, I've said it, and I've maybe just been talking, and not just talking or naive in a sense of talking about how great just the offenses was, right? And not necessarily the team, and not necessarily offense connecting with defense, connecting with special teams. So I believe that Shotty's doing it the right way from the top down of take the offense and defense away from it, take the positions away from it, take the coach and player aspect away from it, and let's connect. And you're talking to one of the most optimistic people I think you'll find. I've seen it the way that it's going. I see the way that people are buying into it, and it's hard for me to think anything different.
Well, and again, he's always optimistic. He's always Mr. Positive. But you've heard Dak Prescott speaking up through the years. The enthusiasm in his voice is one thing, but at the same time, he always says all the right things. But even just if you're listening to what he's saying, talking about guys buying in, the fact that one of the things that it seems like Schottenheimer is doing, now granted it's May, is incorporating the entire team. It's not offense, you guys go over there, defense, you guys go over there, you're a specialist, I don't give a damn what you do, right? Everybody is involved. I saw a video the other day. They were talking about movies for something that DallasCowboys.com was working on, and it was Mike and it was CeeDee Lamb. I think over the last couple of years, you might have saw CeeDee Lamb and some other offensive guys, or Micah Parsons and some of the defensive guys, but you didn't see them mixing all that much. And so trying to create that team atmosphere, keep guys in the building longer, like, hey, work's over, I'm out, want to hang out and compete. And there seems to be a lot of competition, not football, but just everything these guys do, they're competing, whether it's putts or free throws, and then calling people out when they don't. It's just not all football related activities. It's fun, but they are competitive. Very similar to the accolades you hear from Dan Quinn in Washington by taking all the recruits on the 30 visits to top off. What are they doing? When they do that, and you've heard Dan Quinn and that coaching staff talk about it, that we're seeing, one, how they compete, who gravitates towards who's the natural leaders, who just kind of sits off by themselves, and they're judging all that. Seems like Schottenheimer is doing something very similar with the guys that are already in the room.
And he is. And that's a huge thing, and trying to get the most out of your team. He's also, you know, there were a lot of concerns about him. Jason said today on the show, I have my concerns about Brian Schottenheimer because he was a non-play calling offensive coordinator. Was a non-play calling offensive coordinator do? Well, he will be calling plays now. He called plays when he was in Seattle. He has called plays. It's not beneath him, but Mike McCarthy wanted to continue to call plays. As we all know, your ideas and your boss's ideas may be different, and you may have to swallow your tongue for what your boss or corporate executive or whoever it may be in your business want to do and do it their way. And the Houston Texans, same scenario. You look at that offensive line, maybe it wanted to be done a certain way. Maybe it was Chris Strasser and the offensive line coach, and they're like, well, you're promoting the assistant offensive line coach and Cole Popovich. And I've heard Texans fans complaining about that. Doesn't mean Popovich is going to do the same things that Chris Strasser does. Maybe they had a difference of opinions and he lost out with his ideas on how things needed to be done in the room to the offensive line coach and to the offensive coordinator, which is why there's now a new offensive coordinator with Nick Caley, who worked with Cole Popovich when he was in New England, along with Nick Caserio. And maybe that continuity, that togetherness, allowing the quarterback to have more say on blocking schemes and stuff like that at the line of scrimmage is going to help to elevate this thing, and not having a guy like Laramie Tunsil in the room. It's going to be very interesting. Call those you love, check on them. You never know what they're doing, and a simple hey, how you do could change their day. This has been Extra Innings with Pledge. We've got game one of the Eastern Conference Finals coming up next here. Indiana, New York on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range